Welcome to Pirates TV, your home for all things West Coast Pirates. On today's show, we recap all the action of the weekend's game against Western Sydney Academy of Sports, catch up with Pirate star Jake Doubikin to talk about his metamorphosis from AFL to rugby league star, and we catch up for a chat with Coach Daniel Green to see what's going on inside the camp. All this and more on Pirates TV. The Pirates started the game on a positive note, only to have the first try of the game disallowed before minutes later the Western Sydney Blues filled their side of the scoreboard with a comfortable 6 points. After having a try disallowed and conceding early, the Pirates looked rattled as Western Sydney crossed again to double their advantage after 18 minutes when captain Reid Izzard crossed the line. Only 2 minutes after the restart, and Western Sydney again extended their lead to 16 points as 5'8" Dylan Curry locked in the home side's third try. The West Coast Pirates would hit back, however, through New South Wales import Tom Johnson to restore the Pirates' hopes of a comeback, and the try was converted dead in front of the sticks. Thoughts of a comeback were put on hold temporarily, however, as Western Sydney crossed over again before halftime to lead 20-6 going into the break. The Pirates came out looking reinvigorated in the second half and made good use of field position to cut the lead in the 45th minute through 5'8" Josh Rogers. And literally moments later, the Pirates were back in again, this time breaking the Western Sydney line straight from the restart to put the Pirates right back in contention. Western Sydney looked as though they dealt a killer blow as they crossed for an unconverted try with 15 minutes to go. But Pirates fullback Jake Doubikin took advantage of a well-placed kick to put the Pirates within 2 points. Despite opportunities from both sides to snatch the points, errors continued to mar the final 10 minutes of the game, with Western Sydney Academy of Sport taking home the win 24-22. Here are Coach Daniel Green's thoughts on the match.
So, Greeny, last week's game, it was a tale of two halves, could you say?
Yeah, it was. We were patchy, but there was a lot of positives to come out of it. We really worked hard in the first 10 minutes, and defensively we were really good, and I was very pleased with that from the guys. We went into a bit of a lull after that first 10 minutes. We had a few tries disallowed and things like that, and I think the guys just got a little bit down, and a bit of fitness and being at that speed of the game, which we haven't really experienced in any of our trials. So, we played against a side that had trialled through Penrith and Parramatta, and then came in and had 2 trials against SG ball sides, whereas we didn't play against an SG ball side. So hopefully that's one thing, benefit of having that game is that for this coming week it's going to be a lot better for us.
Now, tell us a bit about the St Mary's field. Was it a good field for playing on? Did it affect the way that you played? No,
it was a great field. The conditions and everything like that was fine. It's probably a different heat over there. It's a little bit more humid to what we're used to, but that sort of wasn't really a factor by any means. It was more ourselves just controlling the ball. We dropped way too much ball and switched off, in particularly in the second half, so it made life hard for ourselves.
Now, obviously there was a different calibre of competition between the trial matches and the SG ball match. Was there any positives or improvements that you'd like to pick out there?
Yeah, it's probably we just need to improve on the speed. Playing against Rockingham is more a physical game and probably less speed, whereas playing on the weekend it was a lot quicker game and probably less physicality. So really working on keeping at that same speed. Like I said, we started really well in defence for the first 10 minutes, so making sure we continue on that for the rest of the first half and make a good foundation would probably be the main thing.
Now, who would you say were the standouts for the Pirates on the weekend?
Yeah, the positive thing for us is that every player, to be honest, really had some really great positives for them. On the flip side of that, like I said, it was a patchy game, so most of them had some downsides to their games. Young Sam Dafides was outstanding. Moved him into the second row. Never played second row before. He played all last year on the wing for us. He was fantastic in the second row. Really, really good. So he'd probably be my pick as player from the weekend. So.
All right. So first home game of the season. How important is it to win this one?
Yeah, it's important. Like I said last week when we spoke, that it's just important for the guys and their confidence. Positive thing about the weekend is that they all realised following the game, and they were very disappointed with themselves, is that they know that they were the better team, and it was through their own mistakes and their own doing that they probably didn't get to where we needed to be and get the 2 points. So they're still confident out of it, but yeah, you can't beat the feeling of winning a game and the confidence you get for young kids. So it's very important to do that. We need to, we've got a couple of tough games against, historically tough sides in Penrith and the Tigers, who won it last year, following this weekend's game. So yeah, it'd be fantastic to grab a win this weekend.
And the home crowd, do you reckon that'll be a boon to the boys?
Oh, of course, and the fact that you don't have to sit on a plane for 4 hours and you're 3 hours at a time, difference and things like that, that's going to be a massive factor for us. We get to sleep in our own beds and have breakfast at our normal time, compared to being a lot different last week. So in saying that, the guys handled it really, really professionally last week, so we're very proud of them for that.
So what have the boys been focusing on in training in the lead up to this game?
In the lead up, we've probably just been sticking to what we've been doing over the off season, and that's just making sure that defensively that we're very strong and very tight, and that was probably one of the pluses to come out of the weekend. So we've just been improving on that and just tweaking our attacking game a little bit. Having a proper SG ball game, being the first one for the season. There's always going to be a couple little tweaks and things like that we have for our sets and how we attack and what we do at what time during the game. So just that stuff.
And of course you're playing Melbourne Storm this weekend. What are your thoughts on them as a side? Any insight into tell?
I've seen the game from them from last week, but they've lost a few players and made some changes and things like that. But we're really not focusing on what they're about and what they've done. We're just more focusing on what we can control, and that's ourselves. So we just need to make sure that we turn our patchy performance in round one into a less patchy performance, and it's all a lot more positive. So.
And finally, what's something that we should watch out for this week from the Pirates?
I'm not sure. Hopefully, like I said, I was very proud with them how they defended. So, I think, really hoping they start the game on the same note, and first 10, 15, 20 minutes, they're really pushing in and really making a statement to the other side. So, yeah, group of kids we've got are very honest kids, so they're going to give everything they got, win or lose. So, you just see a lot of boys just really, really playing hard and doing their best. So,
thanks for that, Grant.
No worries. Thanks, boys.
Thomas Johnson, Singleton Greyhounds, and I play hooker. Well, I started off playing with Singleton back home, and then I came over here and started playing for the Pirates, and it's really different. It's a lot more physical and it's pretty tough, but I enjoy it. It's hard living away from the family and mum and dad and stuff, but the boys make me feel a lot at home, and it's a good environment and stuff, so I like it. Yeah, I'm pretty excited. It should be good if we get a good crowd and lots of people supporting us and stuff. Yeah, so I'm really excited. I think everyone should come see what we've got to offer, because I think we'll go alright this year. So I play hooker, pretty much in the middle of everything. I do a lot of talking. The boys probably tell me to shut up, so I'm involved in a lot, and that's what I like. Yeah, I was happy. It's a shame we didn't get the win, but I was happy with how I played. I scored the first try for our team, so I think that got the boys going and got the team back on track. Just socialise and hang out with friends. I usually go see my mate Gus and Rudy.
Meet Jake Doubikin, fullback for the West Coast Pirates. But there's something that sets Doubikin apart from most of the other boys in the SG Ball squad. Whilst the majority of his teammates have been bred from birth to play rugby league, Doubikin is an Aussie rules convert, originally making his name as a promising junior Australian rules footballer. So how does a fledgling Aussie rules star make the jump to rugby league?
I started playing in year 8 at Atwell College, and at the time I was playing AFL, and then I just pretty much enjoyed rugby league more, just the physicality, skills and whatnot. I played a few games in the for Atwell College, and then Geezer from Worrell asked me to come down and play in the WA Reds Academy, and so I went down to a few training sessions and kind of liked it. And at the time I was still playing a bit of Aussie rules, but then I had a few games with the academy and it was a bit higher level and I just enjoyed it so much more.
And Doubikin acknowledges that the experience of the academy system has more than prepared him for SG Ball.
It's just like a step up from, your school footy or club footy, and it's just it gives you a bit more exposure and whatnot. So you get to verse the best of the best. We play over in Sydney and stuff like that. It's just a bit higher level, which is what you obviously have to step up to.
The previously mentioned geezer is Edward Easter, High Performance and Secondary Development Officer at WA Rugby League. Easter has played a big part in Doubikin's development, spotting him out early on through WA Rugby League's specialist school program.
Jake Doubikin was one of the big ones. He was a very, very talented Aussie rules player, and he was at Atwell College, and he just joined the rugby league group out of something to do at school. There was no other reason for it. He wasn't not doing another sport because of it, and he just loved it, and I could see he was a natural talent. So with the fact that he was playing the game properly and enjoying it, and me telling him how good he was at it, I did convince him eventually to come and try out our academy, and he hasn't looked back since then. He's got numerous representative honours and it's his favourite sport, and if you ask him later on, which I'm sure you will, it's probably one of the best things he's ever done.
And it's not just Doubikin that Easter has earmarked for a future in rugby league after managing to pluck 2 other boys within the side from other sports.
Tyler Thomas and Kyle Fletcher. Tyler came through Darling Range Sports College, the rugby league program there, played for the combined specialist school side against the academy, and in that year Kyle Fletcher played through the Thornley Academy. He played for the academy against the CSS, so Tyler and Kyle played against each other in that format, and now they're both in SG Ball playing alongside each other, which is a great story.
But how difficult is the process of teaching an old dog new tricks, and are some of the traits of other sports beneficial in their transition to rugby league?
Well, with Jake, he had a high level of fitness, and I suppose compared to the 2 rugby union guys, it's a very different challenge turning an Aussie rules player into a rugby league player. Their preconceptions about how to do certain core skills in rugby league, they don't really exist. They don't, because there's just not the overlap of the skill, apart from kicking, which again is quite different. So it was easy. It was more like a blank slate. So I found him easier to deal with, as opposed to the 2 rugby union guys who might have some habits that are great in rugby union, but they're different to how we do things in rugby league. So in Jake's case, it's definitely a beneficial thing. He just had determination and athleticism. The other 2, they enjoyed the aggressive part of the sport, which was valuable in both union and league. But they had a few things they had to try and change about their game.
For those intrigued by the game and wishing to follow the footsteps of young Jake Doubikin and make a name in rugby league, the specialist school program is the perfect way to get involved while you're at high school.
It's different with each school, and obviously it depends on what area you live in. Most areas where we have a club, there is a specialist high school, and then you have to apply through various things. Some have a trial system when you live in primary school, others you can just apply any time. So they can just contact me at the WA Rugby League, and I can give them further information for their individual needs.
And Jake's advice for those keen to take on rugby league?
I just say give it a go and try your best, really. You never know what will happen.
Unfortunately, that's all we have time for this week on Pirates TV. We hope to see you all down at Charles Riley Reserve in North Beach on Saturday at 11 AM to show your support for the boys as they take on the Melbourne Storm. And why not grab your mates for a kick around or even register at your local football club. On behalf of the entire team here at Pirates TV, get out there and enjoy our great game. See you next week.